three NBA figures and three kind of different buckets of allegations with Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat, with Damon Jones, with Chauncey Billups. Can you break it down for us into those different categories, if you would?
Sure. We'll start with Chauncey, and he was named in an indictment that was centered on illegal poker games allegedly rigged and allegedly backed by the mafia. These poker games would have use technology such as X-ray tables that showed the bottom of cards. They wore contact lenses that could identify marked cards, and Bob got this technology and set up these games, and then according to the feds, they needed to bring in the people to play, the big players, right? And so they used the NBA celebrities like Chauncey allegedly to attract players to come in and play. So he is accused of participating in those rigged poker games. The other indictment was involving Damon Jones and Terry Rozier. And I should say that Damon also was named in the poker indictment as well. But the other one was more centered on sports betting, and it goes back to a game in 2023 when Terry Rozier was with the Charlotte Hornets. Before that game, he allegedly told a friend that he was going to come out early of that game, not play very long, right? Ahead of the game, sportsbooks started detecting a lot of suspicious bets, a lot of betting interest on Rozier unders. This is a nondescript game in late March involving the Pelicans and the Hornets, two teams that were pretty much out of the playoffs. And all of a sudden, the sportsbooks, why are we getting all these bets on Terry Rozier? Under points, under rebounds, under assists. They flagged it. The NBA looked into it. When Terry came out of that game, played about 9.5 minutes, took himself out of the game, citing a foot injury, and all those bets won. So the NBA got the information from the sports books and the betting integrity monitors, looked into it a little bit, and they just said they couldn't find any evidence to really that was worthy of pursuing further for them. They're very clear that they say, hey, we didn't clear him. We just didn't have evidence that could say that, yes, he deserved to be suspended or whatever.
Right. Now, I mean, Sam, there is a long, sordid history in basketball. Point shaving scandals, gambling scandals, which I differentiate from point shaving scandals if it's, more about consortment with gamblers, et cetera. But the nature of the sport, right? 10 people on the court rather than 22 or 18. The nature of the sport, the kinds of prop bets that we have now, the way that one player can influence not just the outcome of the game, but the results of those kinds of bets, et cetera. How when you look at basketball and you see how it can be manipulated by the wrong elements, by gamblers, what do you see?
I see that opportunity, especially when you talk about these prop bets with unders. It's just easy to do that, and it's just so tempting. But when you talk about those type of bets, I don't understand, first of all, why you would allow those type of bets. And then why would you allow people to bet on any of these guys? When you start looking at Porter, I mean, this guy was a reserve player. He wasn't in the rotation. He played limited. And when you start talking about
two-way player, right?
Yes, and betting on guys, allowing people to bet on guys like that, you're inviting these type of things to happen. So I just think it's greed on some of these sports betting operators by allowing all of this, and they need to tighten this thing up, because Dave could tell you, if you only allow people to bet the over, that's when you could tell if a guy's going out really going for points and things of that nature. How do you bet the over on assists? Because I mean, you got to create an atmosphere to where these things are not allowed, and they've made it too easy, in my opinion, with these under bets and allowing all of these players to be bet on.
And now with Porter, right, David, those unders on two-way players at least are not allowed, right?
That's correct. With the league partners, sports books that are partners with the league, the NBA went to them after the Jontay Porter scandal and said, hey, let's not take under bets on two-way players or contracts. Now, there's a lot of different ways to bet these days, right? You can do prediction markets. You can do daily fantasy. And those don't have the same relationship with the NBA. So you can still find ways to do it. It's just not as easy.
Yeah, David, when, Adam Silver goes on the Pat McAfee show, right? Mm-hmm. And he talks about, we got to find a way to kind of rein in the prop bets. What levers does the NBA have to make that actually happen?
Not many levers at all. They do have rights, and some state regulators will allow them to come in and say, we do not want these type of bets, and let them make their case for that to go through. They can also communicate with their sports books. They're partners with a bunch of sports book and really kind of, push them a little bit to do that. I would say that the one thing that they could look at instead of just banning these prop bets at all, keeping the betting limits down low, right? If you're going to bet on a low level player or a nondescript game, you can't get $1,000 on these, players and these unders. Let's keep those bets down to, hey, $25. Reduce the incentive to try to manipulate things. And I think the better way to do that, instead of just banning them all, is just to keep the limits a little bit lower on these type of things and kind of, like I said, reduce the incentive to try to manipulate anything.